It's like I never left.
Exactly. Come in all fucked up, all disheveled.
I was drinking last night, in defense.
Well, when do you not drink? In defense,
I've actually been doing not bad. I've been cutting back on the old drinking.
Have you?
I'm getting too old for this shit.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by the most gorgeous European in all the land,
You,
Mr. Allan Paxton. What's up, buddy?
Hello, I'm all right. How's you?
Good. It's been a while, man. It's been a long time.
Been a long time.
Toby's going to be upset that he missed this.
Well, I mean, it would be unfair for both of us to be on, because then it would be the two, colonials. Oh wait, no, you're the colonial.
Oh,
the
see,
colonial.
You're the slave. I'm the colonial. It's fine.
Yeah, look, you beat us once. You got lucky.
Us.
Right?
Why do you say us? Like it's like you actually helped out. You guys weren't even part of England at that time, were you? They owned you.
Oh yeah.
They owned you. They owned you and they owned us. And then once you guys saw what could actually happen, you were like, hey, maybe we should fight back a little bit.
Well, I still argue that we made the moral choice because we're getting loads of money from England, and I still think it's, without getting political.
That's moral? The moral choice is taking boatloads of money. That's
maybe not moral. That might be the wrong one.
Yeah, that's
pragmatic?
a word. Wrong word. That's a smarter choice.
Beneficial.
Yes, the beneficial choice. Oh, good lord. So how much has changed since the last time we saw you? It's
been a while, hasn't it? I mean, just cracking on with work. New flatmate.
So you finally left the mum?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Or she left you?
She left me.
She was like, get out.
Yeah. She thought, it's been 30 odd years, I'm done with you.
Yeah. Time to move
Adios.
on. Yeah, time to move on.
So. I've been.
Is this another family member, or is this?
No. Person I work with. So.
Okay, cool. That's good.
I can't kill them.
Is it male or female?
Male.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I know my love life is as.
Oh, listen, yours and mine are like par for the course, man. I can't. At least at least you still have all your whereabouts about you. I'm
well. After last night, I'm still a bit fuzzy.
Well, that's every Saturday night for you. That's not a shocker.
I'm wounded by that.
Oh, please!
Casting aspersions about my good nature.
There is nothing that upsets you. Please, I know we've been on this road.
I do lack what are called human emotions. So yes,
this is why you and I get along so well, because I can take shots at you and you're like whatever. Is that all you got? Is that all you got, old man?
Yeah, it's literally whatever you say, I can think of way worse about me.
Well, about me. I think I was getting ready to say, like, as you started to say something, you're like, I can think way worse about you, and you're like, about me, and I'm like, oh, okay, there you go. Okay. So for those that don't know, because it's been quite a while, and plus we've made some changes, some iterations to the show, and we've gone different places with it, but Allan was part of the original cast of the Geek Cast. And then what happened with the Geek Cast was we shut that down, we changed, we moved to the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. Then from there, we went to the Gaming Gurus. Then I left everything because of the whole divorce thing. And then Toby and I came back, and when we came back, we were like, we're going to do the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. That's the one that we liked the most. It just made more sense for my channel rather than going back to the Geek Cast. But we put a lot of episodes out as the Geekcast. But you never came on any of the other iterations, right? It was just the Geekcast, and then that was it.
I kind of was like that member of the Beatles that left just before you kind of did your thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Sean Capri was the Ringo Starr. Or, I mean, not the Ringo Starr. Sean Capri was the Yoko Ono, who stepped in and kind of like broke us all up.
He's going to be salty about that.
Oh, he is. Well, the thing of it is I did invite him to come on today. Because I was like, you know what? It'd be kind of cool to bring, with Toby not being there, it would really, like, Toby would be watching this and be like, if Allan's there, he's like, oh, well, I'm glad I missed the show. Because Allan used to always, as they say in the UK, take the piss out of Toby. And so the thing is like, but he would have saw Sean there and been like, damn, I wish I would have been there. So now it's whatever. But I did invite Sean, but he didn't. I guess he didn't wake up in time. I'll get a message from him in like 5 minutes. Like, are you still recording? I'll come on. And I'll be like, yeah, come on in.
Yeah, I'm happy if he does show up.
Yeah,
that's fine.
It's good.
That's
good.
Canadians share a thing with the Brits as well. You see.
Oh, good God, here we go. This is the main reason why Allan got kicked to the curb, because of this stuff. Because he constantly would attack me that I was some scumbag because I'm not still part of the Queen's tea and all that nonsense.
Well, I'm just saying, if you were still part of the UK, would you have Trump?
Well, the thing is we kind of own England now. I mean, we got Meghan Markle in there. That's the first sign to, like, if they all start dropping off over there, she's in line,
Yeah.
So it's a possibility. We're slowly creeping in there. We're trying. So
the long
Allan,
game.
Exactly, Allan. Let's kick this episode off like we do each and every episode with our Geek Outs. As you just stare blankly into the camera. What are you
scared? I'm looking at you here, and it looks like I'm staring off wistfully into the distance.
You're fine. You're fine.
It's all right.
What are you geeking out about?
I'm kind of having a Black Friday back and forth with myself. I keep wanting to buy. Do I get an iPad Pro? Do I get an Apple Watch? I know one's cheaper, and it's just like but it's being Apple. I can't bring myself to spend nearly £1,000 on a tablet. I could buy a laptop, a better laptop, for that money, and it's just so I keep going past my local electrical retail, and I'm like, I could go and get that watch and get the earpods, and I could start and then I keep fighting myself back. So far, I'm geeking out about all the Black Friday deals. I have bought whiskey. Amazon were doing some good deals on stuff I like, so I did order a few bottles of whiskey.
So that is a thing over there where they kind of taking the American thing and being like, "This is a good idea. Let's all grab this." Yeah,
I mean it's not as Mad Maxian over here. We're not like beheading people to get front of line, but we get deals. I just like to do online Black Friday deals. I don't want to leave the house. Yeah. I'm antisocial.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't like to go out into that nonsense. I did go yesterday to GameStop, and I went and grabbed oh my God, God of War and Horizon. God of War was sold out. I'm like, why do you have the boxes on the shelf then if it's sold out? Get the boxes off the shelf. And then because it was $17, and then I got Horizon the complete edition for $9. I was like,
damn, that's some good deals.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I haven't played yet, so I might as well play these. Might as well grab them. Spider-Man wasn't on sale, so I didn't grab that one. I'll still wait for
you've not played Spider-Man yet?
Nah, I'll wait for it to drop in price. Well, there's two reasons. There's two reasons. One, it's Sony, and two, it's Spider-Man. So it's a Marvel character, so I'm not in a rush.
Oh, it's such a good game.
If it was Batman, we would talk, but it's not Batman.
Oh, dude, it's it's so good. Oh,
I've heard a lot of great things about it, but I'm just like, whatever. I'm not in a rush.
It's my first ever platinum.
Is it really?
That's my only game I've ever platinumed.
Walking Dead is the only one I've ever platinumed, but that's as simple. You just beat it, and it gives you a platinum. Myself, I'm kind of geeking out about the same thing. I went crazy on the eShop. First time ever that I can remember that they had such phenomenal deals. I picked up Enter the Gungeon. I picked up NBA Playgrounds 2, which, by the way, that game's getting so much hate, and I don't know why. That game is so much fun. I like it better than the first one. I think it looks gorgeous. So I don't know what the hate's for. I bought Wolfenstein 2.
Okay.
It was half off, man. I mean, come on, why not? And I bought a couple other ones. I bought Bastion, and I think there was one more, but in my mind, I can't remember what it was. Gets tender with age there, Allan.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm getting old myself.
Well, no, your mind is because of the whiskey. My mind is because of age. So there's a difference.
I'll allow that.
So the reason why I brought Allan on today was Well, first off, we haven't talked in forever, and I wanted to be able to sit down and have a conversation with you for a little bit. But the other thing was I was like, what can I do? Like, if I do this, what do I do? So I thought, with the Game Awards coming up in a couple weeks, why not sit down? Let's go through. We're not going to go through the entire list because there's a lot of stuff that, A, we don't even know who the people are being nominated. B, it's not really relevant to, like, we're not big into esports. I don't even know any of the teams. I don't know the coaches. So it's like, what's the point of doing those? But we're actually going to start off with the best multiplayer game. And what I want to go through is just, we're going to kind of make some predictions. And if there's some things we want to say about each thing as we go through, we'll say them. But we're going to start with best multiplayer game. The nominees are Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Destiny 2 Forsaken, Fortnite, Monster Hunter World, and Sea of Thieves. So, I mean, for me, I think it's a no-brainer on here. What's going to win? What's
Sea of Thieves?
You think Sea?
Yeah. No way. Sea of.
I'm not going to knock Sea of Thieves because I think it's a decent game. It's just not for me because I got seasick playing it. It's that realistic, man. It's just like when I was sitting there and I'm watching the boat go up and down, I'm like, oh, what is happening right now? I'm like that. But I did like the fact that like you can drink alcohol on it and get sick and start throwing up all over the place. So I was playing. I
just call that Saturday night. I mean, why would I say that?
I was playing with Sean Capri, Joseph Moran, and Jason Lacey. And I was getting drunk, and they're trying to read the map, and I'm walking over just throwing up all over them and stuff. And they're like, what is that? What are you doing? What's going on? Oh, it was the best. It was the best.
I'd love...
Go ahead.
I'm looking at this list, and I think it's going to be the two contenders. It's going to be either Fortnite, it's going to be Black Ops. Those are the only two front runners.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think Fortnite takes it hands down.
Really?
Dude, you got to remember, fans are voting on this. This isn't anything that's like, a committee. The committee nominates them, and then, the fans vote on it. So, I think Fortnite wins it hands down. There's no doubt about it.
I do think it's a one-way street, that, yeah.
I think the crazy thing to me is, and it's not crazy, but it's understandable, but at the same time, like, PUBG, it's because these are 2018 games, I guess. But Black Ops has been out for a couple of years, right? Destiny's been out for a couple of years.
Destiny's been around for a while, yeah. And to be honest, I got the game, that one, when they did it on PSN, you got it for free. Mm-hmm. And is it just me or I don't get it,
It's a little different. Yeah. You gotta have people to play with you that can kind of guide you through the first couple times. But I like Destiny. I don't think Destiny's a bad game. What I like about Destiny is they actually took into consideration people like me that can't play first-person shooters that well because they get sick. I get no sickness at all playing Destiny because of the frame rates and the way it's a slow, it's not a lot of jumping, up and down. So I like it. I like the game. And plus, it looks gorgeous. But I think Fortnite wins this, no problem at all.
I've come up with an idea for a show for you. Bobby does VR.
Oh, no way, man. No way.
I want to watch your head spin round while you vomit like it's The Exorcist, because that would be brilliant.
It's exactly what would happen. I played VR. I played PSVR one time with Miguel, and I didn't. My eyes hurt the next day. But it wasn't like a hurt, like a painful hurt. It was like you used muscles you've never used in your life.
It's like watching too many 3D films. Your eyes just get tired.
Yeah. So it was like I had this little bit of a pressure on the forehead and below, but my eyes the next day just felt like, oh, what is going on here? Like you were using them in a way, like you go to the gym for the first time ever in your life, and you try to do 200 pounds on the bench press, and it's like, dude, you got to go slow.
Build up.
Best sports/racing game. So we got FIFA 19, Forza 4, Mario Tennis Aces, NBA 2K19, and Pro Evolution Soccer 2019. Here's the thing for me. I felt like I don't know why Mario Tennis is in there because it's not that good. What confuses me a little bit is why Splatoon 2 isn't part of the best multiplayer game, and why Mario Aces is part of the best sports game.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Mario Aces is anywhere in the conversation of best sports. It's a good attempt by Nintendo and Camelot, but it falls so short. It's not even funny.
I look at that list and I kind of can't, because being that it's voted for by the fans, I kind of want to lean that it's going to be a FIFA walk, because FIFA is the biggest franchise, I think, the sports franchise that EA have in that kind of Madden, FIFA, and all that. So I would like to see Forza Horizon win, because again, I'm not into racing games, but everything I've seen of that game
is gorgeous.
It's a visual, it's a stunner. It's drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah.
And from what I've been told, the gameplay is super fluid. The whole driving around and then straight into your races just works.
Yep.
FIFA's FIFA. It's the same game with maybe a tweaked mechanic and a slightly better grass rendering engine.
Yeah. For me, I think Forza Horizon 4 should win. But I'm with you. I think FIFA could win, because you crazy Europeans will start voting for, But then again, let's be honest, you guys are big with your racing as well, so it could be a toss up.
True.
I really believe the European crowd is going to dominate this particular vote, and I think that's where the soccer, because the soccer's soccer, it's the biggest sport in the world. So it's a good possibility that game could win, but Forza Racing is also a big one too. Yeah. I don't know about battle strategy. Do you want to mess with this one, or you want to just skip it? We'll just do the nominees. So the nominees are BattleTech, Frostpunk, Into the Breach, the Banner Saga 3, and Valkyrie Chronicles 4. The only game on that list there's two games that I've heard of. The Banner Saga 3. I think I've heard of Into the Breach. I think that's the one Toby's been playing recently. And Valkyrie Chronicles 4. For me, I think Valkyrie Chronicles 4 would probably be the one that'll win, because it's probably the most popular one. I don't really know much about any of them.
The other one I have seen stuff about, strategy, because I'm not a PC gamer. I use a Mac when it's working. So. Yeah. But I do know that Frostpunk I saw a lot of stuff around that when it launched, but it kind of just... There's nothing since then.
Yeah.
When did Civ 6 come out? The new Civ?
Just came out.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised it's not on, but maybe...
Maybe because it just hit... but did
I guess it didn't make the cut.
Well, that hit for the Switch, but it hasn't been out for a while.
That's right. It came out. Yeah. There we
are. So we're going to jump into Best Family Game. This is Nintendo domination right here. So it's Mario Tennis Aces, Nintendo Labo, Overcooked 2, Starlink Battle for Atlas, and Super Mario Party. Man, in my heart, I know what I want to win. But I'm curious what I think will win. Okay, what's your impressions on this list?
Doesn't this just sum up a lot? Right, we'll get back onto this in a second, but this list sums up a big problem for me. Apart from Overcooked 2 and Starlink, it's a Nintendo sweep for family games. Yeah. Where the hell are Sony and Microsoft making content?
They're not. They're not.
But that's by the by. I would like to see Labo kind of win, because I think as a family game, that actually isn't just the electronic side. You've got the whole joy of, you can see air quotes there.
Yeah.
Joy of building the model and then getting to play with it. So you've got the parents can be involved in that bit of helping build like the giant robot suit, and then you've got the kids having fun. Yeah. I personally would like to see Labo win. Part of me, again, if it's voted for by the fans, I kind of would think we're going to maybe see Starlink win, because that seems to, for at least looking at the Switch iteration, has been loved. But I've been told this. I'm getting it for Christmas.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for it. So I've heard good things. And I kind of think, again, it's whether or not it's going to be the Switch owners that kind of tweak it. But I think of all the games, as it's got the more broad, it's been on the Xbox One, it's also on the PS4, it might tally up more votes in that respect. So I kind of think it'll edge it just because it's on more platforms. Again, presuming that the Switch crowd come out, because, you know, I've not played Mario Tennis Aces. I didn't like the Wii U one, so I was kind of lukewarm to when they announced it. Mario Party, I am a lonely person. I don't want to play a Mario Party game on my own.
I agree. I'm with you.
Overcooked just never took me as a game. Labo, I would love to have, but my house is so small I have no room for all the boxes. So I still think it'll be Starlink.
Yeah, I think Starlink will win. It could be it. And here's the weird thing for me. I don't know why it's nominated Best Family Game. I mean, I know it's because it's not like it's a family-friendly game, essentially. I guess that's what they're looking at. As far as like a bringing the family together game, I don't see it being in that. Like, I think it's an easy, like, your kid goes in a room and just plays the game by himself. It's not one that the whole family crowds around the TV and plays together. Because the other ones, all the other ones, to me, scream that. All the other ones are like, hey, this is the one that your family gets together and you'll all play together. Or your friends all get together and play together. Starlink, to me, just isn't one of those games. But the best game on the list is Starlink, in my opinion. Starlink is an absolute Star Fox game, and I actually bought it, and I love it. I think it's a phenomenal game. So, for me, that's the win, and that's the one I would vote for on this list. As far as like the Nintendo stuff, like I said earlier, Aces just fall short for me. Mario Party, I've heard people say good things about it. I've heard people say bad things about it. I've never played it because I don't have a bunch of friends that come over and play games anymore, so that's not a thing. And Labo, I think it's a great idea by Nintendo, and it's a good way to get the family together, playing and building stuff and doing stuff together. But I don't know that this game, it gets a lot of hate too, so I can't see it winning. So I would go with you and say Starlink on that one. Best fighting game, Blue Blaze Cross Tag Battle, Dragon Ball Z Fighter, or Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Soul Calibur 6, and Street Fighter 5 Arcade. So, I think we pretty much know that if these nominations were done a couple weeks from now, the game that would be on here and the game that would win. But it's not on the list. Yeah. So it's of the list, I think. Okay, so what I've heard in conversations with people is Dragon Ball Fighter Z is like a phenomenal game. It's a really good game. But I look at it and I go, Street Fighter 5. I've also heard very good things about Soul Calibur 6. But I think the winner's probably going to be Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, though, isn't it? Again, it's like, it's weird. We get the build up to these games coming out is huge, and then I feel just after they're out, the only time they're ever in the press is if they do something wrong. You know, charging more for DLC than they should. But I kind of think, again, for me, it's between Soul Calibur and Dragon Ball. I'm kind of with you, though. I think Dragon Ball is going to win it. For me, I do think, though, 2019 Game Awards, on top of all the cringe we know is going to be at these shows, because it's always there, Smash Brothers is, you know, I feel sorry for any other game that goes up against Smash Brothers, because that is the only game that's going to win it. Because
I agree.
For the people that love that series, I am not one of them, but I do get enjoyment from playing it, but I'm not like the hardcore. But with everything that game offers, hands down, 2019 Smash Brothers year for that category. But right now, it's flick a coin between Soul Calibur and Dragon Ball. Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm with you completely. Next category, best role-playing game. Dragon Quest 11, Monster Hunter World, Ni no Kuni 2, Octopath Traveler, Pillars of Eternia 2. Can I just give a shout out to Colin Moriarty that if he never if his favorite game of all time, or one of his favorite games of all time, wasn't Ni no Kuni, I would have no idea how to pronounce that game. I'd be like, Ni no Kuni? Like, I wouldn't have no idea how to even say it, but whatever.
No. You Americans do butcher the English language, so why not just butcher the Japanese one as well? I mean...
Oh, man. Come on, stop. You would be all messed up, too.
You can't even say aluminium properly.
Here it is. It was only a matter of time for that word popped up. It's aluminum.
Can't
it's
call
aluminum.
it autumn. We have to call it fall. Because it's got like, silent U's in there, you know?
Okay, let's stop.
Color.
It's color. It's not color hour. It's color.
My God.
How do you say color?
Color.
Yeah, you don't say color. You say color.
It's a silent letter.
There's no such thing as silent letters. It's there. It's hanging out. It's like you in a bar. You're not silent. You're just screaming, use me. And that's...
Pterodactyl. Pterodactyl starts with a P, if I'm right. I think it does. I'm a bit fuzzy on things. I think so. I'm sure I'm wrong on that one.
We should probably stop, because we're just showing our stupidity right now.
Indeed.
Okay, so for me, it's a hands-down no-brainer what I think should win. But I'm curious what you think should win this category.
It's like what should win and what will win are kind of generally removed.
Yeah.
What I think should win is Octopath Traveler.
I'm with you.
I think that should win.
Yeah.
I think it's Square. I don't know if you agree with this, but Square are better now at doing the what's the word? The not Final Fantasy games.
Yes.
I think they are between Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy. Kingdom Hearts seems to just keep scraping along, but Final Fantasy they've ditched that thing into the sea and it's at the bottom of the ocean, in my opinion. But Octopath Traveler, when they're doing something different, I mean the way they marketed it, the way the demo where you could play all the 8 characters, that should win.
Yeah.
What I think will win is Dragon Quest XI.
You think that'll win?
I think what it has going for it is it's the newer release, and I think it's fresher in the minds. I think Monster Hunter World, again, it's the passage of time. I don't think, again, it made a foothold in the West. The other games kind of tentatively have done, but I don't think it's going to win. I'd like to see Ni no Kuni maybe come in second, but again, passage of time. I just think Dragon Quest is fresher in the mind.
See, for me, I look at the list and I go, Octopath should win, and I believe it will win. And the reason why I say that is the top 3 that we're listing here, the Dragon Quest, Monster Hunter, and Ni no Kuni, are all very Japanese-centric. And it's one of those things of, like, they aren't games that were huge here. They have what I mean by that is everybody was talking about Octopath. But people that talk about Dragon Quest don't, like, it's such a smaller pocket. It's not a mass group. Same thing with Monster Hunter, and same thing with Ni no Kuni. I think the only reason Monster Hunter got a huge explosion was the fact that it was on a PS4, where that was the first time in a while that it moved from Nintendo back to Sony a little bit. So I think, and also it was the first time in a while that it was on a home console as opposed to a handheld console. So I think that's why that got a lot of groundswell. But Ni no Kuni and Dragon Quest, I think it fell kind of on deaf ears. And I think Octopath was the one that everybody was talking about, everybody was fired up about.
Yeah, I think also part of the consideration again for me is based that it's the voter base as well. Yeah. And the voter base for likes of Dragon Quest, Dragon Quest really is, that was PS4, Xbox One.
Yeah.
So it has the wider.
Well, it's not Xbox.
Switch as well.
Dragon Quest isn't Xbox One. Dragon Quest is PS4 and Nintendo 3DS, and it's coming to the Switch.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, I was thinking it was multi-plat, but I thought it was Xbox One, PS4, and Switch. But well, I mean, you throw in that 3DS crowd.
Yeah, man. Well, a lot of people did buy it. Because the game was actually very similar for the other one. So, I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting story. The next category that we got here is Best Action Adventure Game. So the nominees are Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. All phenomenal games.
Yeah.
Like this is where they hit it dead on, in my opinion. Man, this is a tough one. I think that I think Sony's in a little bit of a conundrum because of the fact that they have two of them there that are going to kind of steal votes from each other, and then it makes you wonder, like, does something else slip up into the mix?
Yeah.
In years past, I would have been like Red Dead all day long, but that's got a lot of people not feeling it, you know? So it's kind of, Now, I've heard a lot of great things about Assassin's Creed. A lot of people are loving that game.
Yeah, it's a strong crowd.
It's a strong category.
I think what we need to do is we need to whittle away. So I think Shadow of the Tomb Raider, that kind of came and went without much, in my opinion, personal opinion.
Yep.
That came and went without a lot of fanfare.
Yeah.
Red Dead, you're right. I'm loving it. I'm playing that at the moment. In fact, when we're done here, I'm probably going to go back to playing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a different.
So
I don't think Assassin's Creed's going to get it. I think it's a lot of. I don't know. I just feel.
I think if we're eliminating, I think you eliminate Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I think you eliminate Assassin's Creed. They're both really solid games, but I just don't feel like they have the crux for a Game of the Year or Best Action Game. When you then look at God of War, Red Dead, Marvel, Spider-Man, I think what happens is Red Dead, although it's a really good game, I don't know if it's a good action adventure game. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much action is in it. When you look at Spider-Man and you look at God of War, I think they're your big action titles.
Yeah. And
now it becomes a coin flip between those two. For me, it's got to be Spider-Man. That's my opinion.
But you see, I haven't played God of War.
Yeah, I'm going off of everything that I've seen. I'm going off of. I mean, I've seen so much gameplay footage. I'm not talking about what I think is a game that I've played as the best action adventure game. I'm looking at it in the terms of, like, of the footage I've seen. I've watched footage on every single one of these games completely. And I've spent a lot of time, like, analyzing them in terms of, like, you know, what looks good, what doesn't look good. I've watched a lot of streams of my friends streaming these games. To me, the game that I felt had a lot of action, a lot of but fun-based action was Spider-Man. I'm not taking any knocks from God of War. I think God of War is a phenomenal game. I just think that with Spider-Man, it's almost like an Arkham game, where, like, you could just be running around and boom, you're right into the action, like, immediately. Like, there could be a fight breakout or a crime breakout, and you're right into it. So, I mean, like, I was watching Rogers Base stream it, and he was just, like, going through New York City, and then, like, oh, there's a crime, boom, and he's right there. And he's fighting a bunch of people. And then, like, he wraps that up, and then does something quirky and funny in it, and then, boom, he's off to the next fight. And it was, like, it was like a constant fluid thing for me.
You see, for me, Spider-Man's the perfect adventure game because I loved, you know, for me, it just scratched the itch, like finding the Korok seeds, of going and finding, like, the 55 backpacks, the photo points, the hidden photo points. Then you had the labs hidden around and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I loved. I found the action side of it a bit repetitive.
Okay.
I felt it became a bit of a button masher. So I look at God of War, and I haven't played it. Again, I'm basing it off of what I've been told and what I've seen. I think is a better action and adventure game.
Okay.
Because I think with God of War, they've both got leveling up systems. They're both very similar in that respect. I think God of War, of the two, if you want to call it button mashers, would edge it against Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. I think Spider-Man's a great adventure game, and I cannot wait for the second one. I just think God of War is a better action and adventure game.
Gotcha.
From what I've seen.
That's fair. Now we jump into best action game. Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Dead Cells, Destiny 2 The Forsaken, Far Cry 5, and Mega Man 11. There's two games on here that I look at and I go like, yes, definitely. And for, I mean, just as a fan, Mega Man 11, I was very happy to see come back. Okay. I don't think it's a winner at all. Mm-hmm. I'm just happy to see it on the list. And Dead Cells. Now, I played Destiny 2. Far Cry is just not my type of game, so I've never gotten into those games. And Black Ops, Call of Duty is another game I'm not really a fan of, that series. So for me personally, when I look at this list, I look at Dead Cells, Destiny 2 are probably one of my picks. But for me, it's Dead Cells all day long. That game was straight up action. You die, you're right back into action. You felt it just it gave you that ability to make you feel godlike at moments, and then just wipe it away from you in a second. And it was just such a phenomenal game. I think it was so great what that game was able to accomplish and how good it is. Like, it is a great game, seriously. So for me, I want to see Dead Cells win. I don't know that it will, but I want to see it win.
I think, for me, let's just be honest. Call of Duty's got this one wrapped up.
You think?
Again, looking at what, depending on what the people are thinking, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, though it's multiplayer centric, which is not my thing, literally the best part of any Call of Duty game, second to story, was just when you wanted a break from the campaign, was just the jumping into match after match after match to palate cleanse. It is pure action.
Yeah.
So also the number of people that have bought that game is insane.
Yeah.
So
true.
I think it's tied up the votes. What I would like to see is, I've never enjoyed a Far Cry game. I love Far Cry 5. I like the setting. I like the whole cult thing and the ending, depending which one you get. Both mind bending. I'm kind of with you. I'd like to see Dead Cells win. I think, in part because it's on my to buy list, and I'm not huge into buying indie games, but it's on there when I have to make it a value price proposition for me.
It's on sale right now.
Is it?
On the eShop.
How much is it?
I don't know what it is off the top
Bobby,
of my head.
stop making me spend my money, Bobby.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna have to go and check that when I'm done now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see that one a little bit because I think it looks like a great game. Also, I think the developer of that deserves a little bit of positive press for that game versus the. Can we swear on your show?
No.
Okay. The S storm that surrounded it.
Yeah.
At least I asked. It'd be nice to see them getting some, a deserved positive feedback, a positive outcome instead of all the controversy that was around that game at its peak. But no, I think it's every day of the week, Black Ops 4, and and Destiny 2. What the hell?
The next category is best VR, but I don't know a thing about any of these games. You never got VR, did you?
No. Again, Black Friday, we keep looking at these PSVR deals, and it's like, oh, come on.
All right, so we're gonna skip that. We're also gonna skip the best mobile because I think honestly it's gonna be Fortnite.
Fortnite, I agree with that.
There's no doubt about it. Best independent game. So we have Celeste, Dead Cells, Into the Breach, Return of the Obra Dinn, and The Messenger. This is as solid as they come in terms of categories again. It is a hard pick for them. The Messenger, although I think it is a fantastic game and is such a throwback to a different era, I loved it. I don't think it should win Best Independent Game. For me, when I look at the list, the two games that stand out are Celeste and Dead Cells. For me, it's Dead Cells again. I think that if Dead Cells doesn't win the previous category we just talked about, I think it wins this one.
I agree.
But I also know that a lot of people love Celeste, so I think it's a toss up between those two.
Yeah.
I think
with it.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I think with indie games, it's really hard to kind of, because I'm basing mine a lot on rationale of what sold more. Indie games, I don't think sales are as important. I think it is more about falling in love with the game and the gameplay, which again, I think Dead Cells deserves it, because I think it seemed to scratch an itch of the Metroidvania itch at the right time.
Yes.
And it seemed to do it in a way that, it wasn't like a cheap cash in on that brand. They seemed to put a lot of love and a lot of care into that, balancing everything. Everyone I've spoken to says it's almost perfectly balanced. Like you said, 1 minute you're godlike, and the next minute it's, pulling the carpet from under you. So I think it's going to be Dead Cells based on what I think it's. I think folk gravitated to it, and it did itself a lot of favors in how much care and attention they put into it. So, my opinion. By
the way, I got a tweet. God, man, these deals, these Black Friday deals. 200 gigabyte SD card, $29 right now.
Damn.
On Amazon.
Crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, crazy. The 400 gig one for £80.
I know. I already have a 400 gig, so that's why I didn't. But I was so tempted to get a second one.
Yeah. I've got a 256 one, and I haven't touched the sides, so I can't justify it.
Yeah, it's not worth it then. Okay, so games for impact is the next category. 1111 Memories Retold, Celeste, Florence, Life is Strange 2, Episode 1, and then The Missing J.J. Macfield and the Island of the Memories. First off, anything with a title that long should just be eliminated immediately. I don't like the fact that Life is Strange is like Episode 1.
Yeah.
That to me is like, that's not a complete game. Like, you're not saying the game, you're saying that episode was the game for like the one that, and basically what I guess they're trying to accomplish with this category is what's the one that like impacted you the most, like emotionally, and brought some emotion out of you. I personally, go ahead. I'll lean on you for this time for the first. Yeah. Like, what's your thoughts?
Well, firstly, can we agree that as a category, game for impact, it sounds like a filler category.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And no offense, as much as I enjoy the Game Awards for all the trailers, and the developers are good, the longer they drag this out, the more chance there is that the developer they're going to have up next is going to be drunk.
Yeah.
As someone that drinks, and we all know that doesn't end well for these shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Life is Strange Episode 1. So are we going to get? Are they going to individually, nominate? Look, this episode of Life is Strange had a really good twist in the story. So it's best storytelling for Episode 2. It's like,
yeah.
No, I agree. That has taken place of, I think, another game. Also, yeah, I agree. The Missing Jade. Okay, I have never heard of that game, so I cannot. I can't even see how it's on there. So I'm guessing if it's on here, it must be really good. I'm gonna have to look into it now. I think what's happened here is I think Celeste will get this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think independent game is going to go Dead Cells, so I think Celeste will scoop this one.
Yeah, I was going to say I agree. And the reason why is Celeste has a lot of anxiety issues. Like that's what the whole crux of the game is. The whole backstory of the game is anxiety and stuff, and that touched a lot of people on a different level. And I think that was the one thing I heard about that game all the time was, yes, it was a great game, but the story and how it pushed people through anxiety, people could relate to the character so heavily. That's why I think that one will win that one. Best performance. Man, I'm not going to do anybody any justice trying to read these names. So I'm just going to read the characters that they played. Some I could do, like Brian Deckard as Connor from Detroit Becoming Human. Christopher Judge as Kratos, God of War. This is the one. Melissa Mahut, I don't know, as Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan, Red Dead Redemption 2. And Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker, Marvel Spider-Man. Best performance. Man, this is a tough one. Again, a lot of good performances here in terms of what they did. what's your heart telling you here?
Well, first of all, can we, tip our hat to Christopher Judge, old school Stargate SG-1 fan here.
Yeah.
It was great to see him get that role. Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker. I remember the end of Spider-Man. I'm not going to ruin it for you.
Okay.
But they do something in the storytelling, punches you in the gut, and I'm not going to lie, it made me tear up a little bit.
Oh, boy.
But what I will say is, I don't think that was from the performance he gave. It was in part that, but also these are characters that I've grown up with, or iterations of them, and I think it was just seeing what they did. It was like, oh my god, no. Yeah. Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan, Red Dead Redemption 2. Playing it now, his performance is pitch perfect, but he is, in essence, playing the gruff cowboy.
Yeah.
But what I am seeing is there is a lot of range that he's getting to work with, so he is really good. I haven't played Assassin's Creed. I can't comment. Brian Deckard as Connor, Detroit Become Human. Again, I've watched Let's Plays of it, and it's a good performance.
Yeah.
This is a hard one. I would throw my money down on Cassandra. In no other reason than, again, player base for that game is a lot wider than God of War and Become Human. I think that can be ruled out. Red Dead Redemption 2 has been really divisive, and it's just, I don't think people have got through the game. I mean, I'm seeing spoiler casts, and I'm like, how are you already finished? I don't get it. Yuri Lowenthal could be what's the word, a wild card winner.
Yeah.
But I think actually I'm going to say it. Roger Clark for Arthur Morgan. There you go. I'm putting my money on it. I think I'm going to go with it.
Okay, so my opinion is, and I feel like the best performance has to go to Brian Deckard of Detroit Becoming Human, because of the fact of he has to play it numerous ways. Meaning, because depending on what you pick, his character has to act a different way. And I think that performance-wise, he deserves it, hands down. He's doing multiple takes, multiple different iterations on a certain situation. So for me, that's the one that should win. Whether it will or not, I'm not sure. But I think he's the most deserving of all the performances, just because he put a lot into it.
I do want to play that game after seeing the stuff that I've seen.
Yeah.
I think I was lukewarm to it after the last game they did.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we're doing all right in time wise.
Yeah, I think we're doing fine.
Best audio design: Call of Duty, Forza Horizon 4, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2. For me, I think it's a no-brainer, but I know that people aren't going to be on board with it. This is going to be one of those. God of War has to sweep it all, so we're going to vote God of War across the board, everything God of War, or Spider-Man, or Red Dead, whatever. But I personally think Horizon should win. Horizon is just one of these games where you jump in and you're playing, and the music just matches what you're doing. It just gets you into it. You feel the game with the music that plays, and it's just like you can be going like cruising along and everything's kind of serene and stuff, and then boom, a race starts and it's like boom, it's high adrenaline, gets you into it. It's real. How they pull that off is really, really good. So for me, it's Forza Horizon is what I would like to see win.
I'm gonna go with Red Dead on that one.
Okay.
I look at audio design more about the less the score, because I think that is the next category, but it's more about the filling the world, but creating the ambience.
Yeah.
And Red Dead Redemption, it's so while you're so you're riding for game miles and miles of empty space, but they fill it with all the sounds you would expect to hear, and when you pump up your sound system and you just let it envelop you, it's just amazing. It's a great game. It really is a Rockstar.
So you're going Red Dead?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we have best score music: Celeste, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Ni no Kuni 2, Octopath Traveler, Red Dead Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on this one?
It's another strong list, isn't it? It's like I'm happy to see God of War is like ticking in almost every single.
Yeah.
I think it's in every single. It really is in every single category going on, except one. In terms of score, I'm going to go with Red Dead Redemption again, because what I love about the score of that game is the way they've done the score. It stands out when it's there, because again, there's a lot of quiet moments in that game where there's no score. So when it kicks in, the music really does impact, and it's used to punctuate a lot of more important sequences and scenes in that game.
Yeah.
And I think it stands out more. Octopath Traveler had a really good score as well.
Yeah, man.
Spider-Man was really good. It kind of felt its own thing, but I got a lot of echoes of Spider-Man Homecoming and the Marvel movies in that, but it was its own thing. God of War, I haven't played enough, or any, should I say, of that, but again, it sounds good when I've watched videos.
Yeah.
But for me, personally, as I'm playing it now, Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to win that one.
For me, it's either God of War or Octopath. Personally, I liked Octopath so much. I thought it was such a good, I'm a fan of the soundtrack and all that stuff. But I feel like God of War is probably going to win, in my opinion. So it's that's a tough one to pick. I think a lot of these are going to be tough moving forward because there's a lot of good games being thrown in.
Yeah.
Best art direction: Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Octopath Traveler, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Return of Obra Dinn. For me, Octopath Traveler all day long. I think that what they did was they took something that shouldn't be unique. Side scrolling or top down quasi pixel art, but they gave it such an amazing feel to it. It felt fresh and new and actually just jaw dropped. Now don't get me wrong. When you look at the rest of them, it's just a matter of it's just great artists doing great stuff. But for me, the style is what spoke to me. Like when I look at Assassin's Creed, when I look at God of War, when I look at Red Dead, they're just very samey in terms of they look gorgeous. They're all jaw dropping, but there's nothing different about them. They just do everything they had it artistically, and it was like this is what the computer could pump out, and this is what it did. I just like the style of Octopath and what it did. I don't think Octopath will win, but I think for me personally, I think it should.
I do think, it's the should win game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down between God of War and Red Dead Redemption again.
Okay.
And I think they both do. Like God of War, it's obviously it's bigger world, but it's also very linear. You're being funneled. But the art they've created for these worlds it's stunning. They've taken a game that everyone knew from all those other generations. They've made it their own thing. They made it feel unique. Red Dead Redemption 2, they have made a breathing world, and the kind of detail that you get is insane. I pity the artist who had to come up even just with one rock of that game because it's that good. Yeah. So I think it's going to be between those two. I can't pick between them. Yeah. Because I like them both for different reasons. God of War, it's very, it's realistic but very cartoony. It's not cartoony, that's the wrong word, but very stylized. Yeah. Red Dead Redemption 2 is very stylized but very realistic in that respect. So it's between those two for me. My money would be probably on God of War because, again, I think it comes down to that. It looks visually where Red Dead Redemption 2 is very visually subtle. So it's probably going to be God of War. I'd like to think Red Dead Redemption 2 just for the amount of work that's clearly gone into making that world and the art design that went into it.
Next category is Best Narrative. We have Detroit Becoming Human, God of War, Life is Strange Episode 1, Life is Strange 2, Episode 1. We're back on that again. Marvel, Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2. For me, Best Narrative is for me. I think it comes down to two games: Detroit Becoming Human and God of War. And I think personally, it's God of War. That story kind of spoke to me a lot, in terms of like just this gruff, brutal man who now has a son, and he's got to kind of weigh in between of like just doing what he's always done and acting the way he's always acted versus trying to raise this boy, no pun intended, and like, you know, turn him into a man of sorts. So for me, I like that whole aspect of it. So for me, it's God of War.
This is a tough one. I don't want to pick because two of the games I know have strong stories, like you're saying, God of War and Detroit. Yeah. I haven't played them, and I think it's unfair for me to say that I rule them out. The Life is Strange Episode 1, right, that's not a game. It's not a game, it is part of a game. So, for all we know, Episode 2 is going to take all the good work they did in Episode 1 and ruin it. Season 1 of Heroes was great. Yes. Season 2, not so much.
Exactly.
Marvel Spider-Man, I cried because that game was...
Oh, you're such a baby.
Listen, I have feelings on occasion, and that did it. That game ticked the box.
Occasion. Yeah, right.
What I'm loving about Red Dead now, I'm not finished it, but watching from where I'm at to where I am now, that story is, you know, it's what Rockstar do really well is you think you know where the story is going to go, but they start to pulling things slightly differently. But you get great overall, a great story.
Yeah.
I think for me it's Spider-Man personally, because that game just it absorbed me, and the story was just they took all the stuff we know from the comics, but they spun it their own way, and in a great way. I mean, like, everything about the characters we know is there, but slightly unique to that world. So I'm going to go with Marvel Spider-Man, but what I'll probably argue is it's probably going to go God of War. I just feel God of War is going to start rolling it with these. Yeah.
Best game direction, A Way Out, Detroit Becoming Human, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2. I think I know who's going to win. Who I think should win is a little tough. I think who will win is going to be A Way Out, because they want to get Joey Ferris back up on stage because he is an animal when he starts talking. So I think they want to get him back up on stage. So I think he's going to wind up winning. Game direction, what I think, man, it's hard. That's a hard list. They're all deserving. In my opinion, they're just all phenomenal.
Yeah. It's a difficult one. I want to say God, I wish I was drunk right now. It'd be easier to make a pick. I'm going to say for me, it's a flip between Spider-Man and Red Dead.
Okay.
Both in terms. You see, I should really have read up on what they meant by each category, and because the way I'm looking at game direction is the person that's overseen this. Yeah. Red Dead Redemption 2 and Spider-Man share a lot of similarities. They're both very huge games, a lot of things that need to be managed. Red Dead Redemption 2, I've only had one or two glitches, you know, whereas you have Bethesda that have released a glitch of a game. You've got Red Dead that's doing a world that's very, very tight, considering it's open world. Spider-Man was open world, but they nailed a franchise character that is so easy to get wrong, and we've seen that time and time again from the Activision games. So it's between those two. Again, for me, I would want Spider-Man to win.
Okay.
Because that game is so good. Yeah. So good.
Earlier, when I talked about best multiplayer game, and I said Splatoon 2 should have been in that, I was mistaken. This is the category that I thought it should have went in, and that's best ongoing game. Because they're continually adding to it. Although that's coming to an end, from my understanding, they're going to stop adding to it. But when you look at that, here's the list that is existing right now. Destiny 2, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, Overwatch, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. So all great ongoing games, all great multiplayer games. There's to me, there's two games that stand out that'll probably be the front runners, and that's Overwatch and Fortnite.
Yep.
And I really think Overwatch is going to win it.
Really?
Yeah. That Blizzard crowd is rabid, man. And they love Overwatch so much.
True. And I do love the animated little videos they get. They're like tiny Pixar movies.
Yeah.
I said this to you before we actually started recording, but let's, everyone that's watching, you and me, let's take a moment to appreciate that No Man's Sky made it to a best of list.
Get out of here, dude. How?
I don't have a clue, but I mean, for me, that game had its moment. Its time came and went. Yeah. It's not for me now, but from what I've seen, all these new updates are just making the game they promised from the very beginning.
For those, and sadly, well, you could go on the Geek Guru YouTube channel and go back and listen to the old podcasts of Allan just praising No Man's Sky, about how he's going to get to the center of the universe and all this stuff, and him and Toby would just taking it to you. He was taking you to task every single week, but so
it was a rare instance where Toby was right. Who knew? Who knew?
This is true. He called, man. He would blast you every week on that one.
Yeah. I think this is a list that's been padded out, because why is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege on there? Yeah. Why is Destiny 2 on there? These are just there to pad out a list that really should just have been Fortnite and Overwatch.
Pretty much, yeah.
I think No Man's Sky, it's finally the game they promised, but it's good to see it on the list, getting some positive praise, but that time has been and gone. I think it'll be Fortnite, really.
Really?
I just think that the way they've done all these seasons with like the big purple cube and the asteroid,
stuff, man. They do great
I
stuff.
think they've nailed that. I think Overwatch, while great, I think, like you say, it's got a rabid fan base, but I just think Fortnite's fan base is it's a bigger fan base, I think.
Yeah.
And I think they are flossing their way to voting for, is that what they do in that game? Floss? The floss dance thing? Yeah. I don't play that game.
All kinds. I play that game. I love that game. I think that game is great. I really do. I think it's so good, man. I love what so for me, listen, I'm not great at the game, but so the thing is with Fortnite and with Overwatch, with all these games, where it gets to be this game where it's like you have to go back and play is in the multiplayer. Like Fortnite, really, to me, it's one of those games that I played it when it was on Xbox, right? And I was like, this game sucks. This is horrible. And then when it hit the Switch and every one of my friends were playing it, and then we jump in and we play, and it's like, dude, we just get on. I literally streamed it on Friday for 5 hours. Just jumped on and started playing with a group of friends. Randoms. People were just coming in. I was adding the Discord. They were on stream with me. We were playing. It was so much fun, dude. To me, it's a great game. But I just think that Overwatch has a crazy, nuts fan base that's going to push that one.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. Game of the year.
Sugar.
Yeah, exactly. Game of the year, we're now to, and that list is Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, Red Dead Redemption 2. I have a feeling you're going to lean toward Red Dead. But I think
my personal game of the year, it's Spider-Man.
Okay.
I haven't got the DLC yet because I want to have something to play when I'm signed off work with post-surgery. Yeah. So I'm saving that. Yeah. Even though apparently the DLC is not great, I love that universe. Yeah. I would have said, hands down, before release, it would have been Red Dead Redemption 2. Mm-hmm. But it hasn't garnered what I was expecting. I was expecting just like everyone to love this game. And what you're getting a lot of people that are enjoying it, but are perfectly comfortable criticizing it, as we should be with any game, any developer, any company. You criticize what you enjoy. Yeah. I don't want God of War to win, because it's going to win so many already. and I don't mean that as a slight against the game. I just think something else has to win. Monster Hunter's not going to win. I'm sorry. It's not big enough. It's a good game. You know, folk that like Monster Hunter clearly like this, but it's not big enough to win. I think it's going to go to Assassin's Creed Odyssey because everything I've heard about this game, apart from the leveling up, you can pay to level up, has been almost universally positive.
Okay.
From what I understand, I'm not an Assassin's Creed player. I tried it on the Xbox, hated it. I gave it another bash with the one with the twins in London, Syndicate.
Oh yeah.
Didn't just wasn't me. Tried Origin because I got it free when I got my X, and it just wasn't for me either. But from what I hear from the fans, this is like it's almost like the perfect Assassin's Creed game, and I think they're going to use that as the model for the next one. I think that's really going to be the thing. So my money would be on that, but the cynic in me thinks that God of War might just pip it. It's
for me. So it's I look at the list and I go Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Odyssey didn't win last year. It's not going to win this year. It's just not going to happen. Just the name Odyssey. It's a taboo for me.
You're not bitter or anything, are you?
No. So Celeste, that would be the feel good story if Celeste was actually able to win. I don't think it will. And what I mean by feel good story is, just people that were not expecting, a game to come up out of nowhere and to win.
Yeah.
I really feel like when you look at the rest, you look at God of War, you look at Marvel Spider-Man, you look at Monster Hunter, you look at Red Dead. Monster Hunter, I don't even believe... I don't feel like that's a Game of the Year contender. What they did was phenomenal. It looks gorgeous. A lot of people loved it. I just don't see that it's a complete package. And that's what I look at when I look at a game to be the best. And... there's only 2 games on this list to me that people did not complain about. And that was Spider-Man and that was God of War. The complaints that came with Spider-Man was the fact that people felt like Insomniac cut the puddles out of it and that stupid stuff that went on. But for me, the 2 games that come down to it is Marvel, Spider-Man, God of War. And for me personally, when I looked at everything, I felt like God of War was the winner. I felt like when you looked at these 2, it was very reminiscent to last year, Breath of the Wild versus Odyssey. Those were the 2 that I felt like deserved to be there. And when it came down to it, just there wasn't enough power for Odyssey to beat, Breath of the Wild, and I feel like it's the same thing here. God of War came out very early in the year, and let's be honest, it wasn't until the second half, the tail end of the year, that there was actually contenders that people were actually going like, oh, okay, God of War, yeah, okay, maybe these other games, but for a long time, it was the only the talk. The graphics are phenomenal. The music is amazing. The story is spot on. Every single detail to this is a complete package. And there was 0 complaints about this game. In terms of people loved it. It just felt universally people loved it. And to me, that's deserving of Game of the Year. That's where you go, hey man, this game belongs in the category. This game belongs in the talks. And I think that's the game that should win, in my opinion, God of War. And that's what I'm rooting for to win, honestly.
You've convinced me. I will buy this game and I will play it when I'm off injured.
So that's my opinion. There we go. And it pains me to say that as a Nintendo fan. That, one, there was not a Nintendo game this year. And I felt like Xenoblade Chronicles should have been in the mix. And it wasn't. And not even to be nominated at all for anything. Even music, even anything. Just blew me away that game got a snub. Even Best RPG, not even a nomination. To me, that game got snubbed big time. But it is what it is, and it's, whatever.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, I'm going to ask one more thing.
Okay.
My question to you is, every year Nintendo does a big announcement during these awards. Yeah. What do you think we're going to see this year? Because what was it, 2 years ago? They talked about or they showed off some Zelda stuff.
Yeah.
They've showed off. Last year they showed Bayonetta 3. They didn't show it, but they announced it. They announced and showed off Bayonetta 1 and 2 coming to Switch, with the announcement that Bayonetta 3 was coming to Switch.
Yeah.
What do you think we see this year?
Well, you see, I know everyone thinks it's going to be Metroid Prime 4. We're going to get a trailer.
I don't think we're
I
going to
would
get anything.
love that.
Yeah, I don't think
they
we're
won't.
Get that.
They won't do that. But Joey Ferris, Star Fox Grand Prix. Oh yeah, they're going to show Star Fox Grand Prix. Retro are finally going to show off Star Fox Grand Prix. His head on a live stream will explode if they show that game off. He doesn't believe, after everything, that game is real, and he doesn't accept that he's going to love it when it comes out. That game is going to be game of the year for him. He is going to be like, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not. Day one, he will buy it.
Yeah. Day
one, he will love it, and day one, I will lord it over him on every part of social media. Joey, Star Fox Grand Prix. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Good Lord.
You heard it here first.
I'm not sure whether we see some Bayonetta footage, if that's the way they go. I don't think Metroid's going to show at all.
No, I don't think so either.
I think it's a no-brainer that we might see some Smash stuff, just because I think this comes out the day before Smash launches. But I don't think that's the big announcement.
No.
I don't think Animal Crossing is going to show. I just feel like it's something that we're not expecting. And I don't know what that could be. I wonder if it's like
Star Fox.
I wonder. Man, that would be wow. That would be a wow moment. Honestly, I like that train of thought. It's kind of.
I think a question I wanted to put to you, because the Game Awards, everyone watched it for the trailers, right?
Yeah.
So you know, I know we're not going to get a Telltale one this year. Well,
yeah.
But now that Sony aren't going to be at E3 next year,
and there's no PSX this year.
That's true. I seriously expect them to pull out a couple of big release date announcements for The Last of Us 2.
You know what's going to come out. You know Kojima's going to be there.
Oh, don't know.
Listen, Jeff Keighley's got to stare into his eyes a little bit longer. That's what that whole show's about. Him to brag about his friendship with Kojima.
But right, everyone needs to sit down and listen. Right, I'm gonna drop some truth on you right now.
Game's horrible.
Death Stranding, whatever it is a hot mess.
It is, because
we have had how many trailers?
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
No,
from the last trailer I did see, it looked he was delivering stuff. So is this like a modern day Paperboy, but with like? I'm carrying a baby in a jar. I'm a pack mule with all the stuff on, and then suddenly Troy Baker appears with his golden mask and his giant oil lion thing. Anyone, please explain to me what's going on with Death Stranding? Because as a narrative thing, it looks like a hot mess. It's like Sony have thrown money at him and they've said, "Do your thing," and I want whatever he's smoking, right? I want to see the world as Kojima sees it, because it is a messed up place.
It's almost okay. So years ago, there was these stories of how Tom Cruise was a nut job, and his publicist used to kind of rein him in and not let him go into public and do all this stuff. And there was a time just before he got together with Katie Holmes, where he fired his publicist. I think he hired his sister as his publicist, and he started going crazy, jumping on Oprah's couch and professing his love and doing all this crazy stuff. And people started to look at him like, dude, what is wrong with you? And like, he started to lose his clout in Hollywood. Then I guess he got a new publicist, and they reined him back in, and they're like, don't talk, just basically act.
Yeah.
You're a great actor. And that's what I feel like Kojima is, where when he was with Konami kept him in a bubble and was like, you only speak a little bit. You don't go crazy. We're going to control what you're doing. We're going to control what's, you could do some stuff, but for the most part, we're controlling what you do. And now it's like Sony's kind of like, he's that publicist. He's Tom Cruise's sister. You know, Sony is Tom Cruise's sister to Kojima. And it's like, I don't know what the hell this guy is doing. And I love Kojima games. I love Metal Gear. I was such a fan of Metal Gear series. This, I'm like, what in the hell is going on?
But even the Metal Gear games start to show the signs of this.
Yeah.
This kind of weirdness. And
the last Metal Gear game got a little wonky at times, but still, it was still a great game. But there was times where it was just like, what in the hell is going on?
Yeah, clearly unfinished though, because that ending is not the ending of a complete game.
Yeah, that game is. Yeah.
I mean, everyone was moaning about Metal Gear Solid Survive, and while it looked completely generic, at the same time, it had just the right amount of crazy. It made me think, come on, he could have made that. It's Kojima. He could have come up with this. But I look at Death Stranding, and I will say this: when they first showed off the trailer with Del Toro and Norman Reedus, I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. Then they had the one with Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Also, I'm like, okay, cool. Still a bit weird, but cool. And now everything they've shown does not make sense.
Nope.
I don't know what the game's about. I don't know what the mechanics of the game are. You know, and at this point, I don't care. And
see, it's like, one of those things where, here's the thing. The one thing with Death Stranding that throws me off a little bit is, it's one of those things of like, if this was a Zelda, if they were doing this with Zelda, if they were doing this with Metal Gear, you would get hyped because you would understand, okay, I know what that character's doing. I understand, that's Link. I know Link. Okay, oh my god, he's in Hyrule. Like, you get that. But when there's no basis to any of these characters, and you don't know who these characters are, for Kojima, he's probably excited. For the people that know the story, they're probably excited. But for those of us that have no clue what this game is, who these characters are, what their backstory is, we're just like, whatever. When it's all said and done, and we play the game, if we play the game, because he's losing us, most of us, I think when the game's played and it's all complete, you might look back and go like, oh my god, this guy was a genius. But for now, looking at it, not knowing, it's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Man? This guy's a lunatic.
Any other developer or publisher that was marketing a game that we've never, a new IP like this, everyone would be slating them. It's getting a pass because it's Kojima, which is fair enough. You're allowed to, but I will not. I will not be too. What's the word I'm thinking of? Not proud. I will not be the bigger man when I go to everyone when that game releases, if it ever comes out and is a hot mess. That I told you so. I told you so.
This is what you're saying is you're going to play the Toby in this, and you're going to be like how Toby used to mock you about No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
this is what you're doing. Okay,
I'm the better looking, far more eloquent Toby in this situation.
Please, that's not much. That doesn't take much to do. Better looking Toby. Come on.
I was being mean. You're just being spiteful.
I love Toby. He knows that. But right now, he's not happy. There's only 2 people that are happy right now. 3 people. You, me, and his brother Murrin. Everybody else is like, why are you picking on Toby? But the rest of us are like, hey, whatever.
Well, I mean, he's English and I'm Scottish, so there's like hundreds of years of like bad blood. So
exactly.
We're allowed to rib each other now and again, which is not a slang term for anything weird.
Oh, God.
Or it might be.
That is all. Thank you guys for listening to this special episode of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video, share it with your friends. If you're listening on iTunes or Google, please rate the show. That would be awesome if you could. Throw some 5 stars at us, leave a little review. Be amazing. Helps us get up the rankings and all that. You could follow Allan at Allan. Is it no underscore, right? Just Allan Paxton?
Underscore.
Allan underscore Paxton. I was close.
Good memory for someone of your age.
Exactly. You like that, right? Oh, I did it for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
Follow me at Nintendo Gurus. That is all. Thank you again, Allan. I really, truly appreciate it.
Oh, it's all right. And if you want me back, folk, just spam Bobby that you want the sexy Scot back.
Peace out, Preston.
Growing up slowly.
Okay, the only thing perfect. Look at you. You're like a professional.
It's almost like
after all these years, you finally have it done. You know how to center yourself. Yeah, man, you are.
I know, right? It's like I'm adulting. I just
don't use that word in front of me, please. That's the dumbest word in the world.
Do it. If I dab, will you like disown me?
No, I like dabbing. Dabbing's cool. I've dabbed on stream, man. It's funny.
Oh God.
The kids think it's lit when I dab.
Don't use lit in front of me.
Oh man! All right, so we have a list of words we're not allowed to use in front of each other.
Yeah, lit, YOLO.
Yeah, oh, come on, YOLO's cool. Come on, Al. You only live once.
I'm judging you.
It's okay. You can judge.
I'm looking at this list, right? The what's it? Game Awards, and can we just give a shout out that No Man's Sky made it to a best of list instead of worst of list? Yeah. It only took, 4 years?
Yeah, okay. Let's not even get into it. I'm a little bitter about that whole nonsense. Okay, let's wait for my camera thing to pop up so I can just make sure my autofocus doesn't start taking over.
Almost like I've got a professional setup and I'm not using a Kindle and an iPhone.
Yeah, but you know what? It's awesome, dude. The quality looks really good, man.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I was going to use my MacBook, but the battery's still in. It's like the camera on this is better than that.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
It was 2008, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Time to buy myself a new one.
What iPhone are you? Are you the XS?
Yeah.
The Max?
XS. Not the Max, no. Too big. Especially for work. Have that thing sticking in my pocket.
Get man hands, won't you? Get real man hands so you can grip that beast like it's supposed to be.
The innuendo is strong with that statement.